In this video, we are going to discuss some topics from the chapter Electrolysis, taken from the book A New Approach to ICSE Chemistry, Class 10th. In our previous videos, we have discussed certain experiments based on the electrolytes and the metallic conductors, in which electricity was used from the source known as battery, and with the help of anode and cathode, the circuit was closed by using some metallic conductors and some electrolytes. And we saw that metallic conductors just passed on the current, while electrolytes, they along with passing the current, decompose themselves into ions. And in today's video, we are going to start with the topic known as electrochemical series. Electrochemical series is a series which is prepared depending on the ease with which the elements lose or gain the electrons to form the ions. These elements are arranged in a certain order such that the element which is on the top is more reactive than the element which is below. Both metals and non-metals have been used in preparing the series, and that series is called electrochemical series. Electrochemical series is of two types. The first one is electropositive series, and the second one is electronegative series. Let's start with the first series, that is electropositive series. Electropositive series is a series in which the different metals are arranged in such a way that the more reactive element is placed on the top and the less reactive element is placed below the reactive element. And this series is called electropositive series. Let's study this series. The first member of this series is potassium, then the calcium. Potassium is more reactive than calcium, that is why it's written on the top, and calcium is below potassium. Moving on further, the next element is sodium, followed by magnesium, followed by aluminium, followed by zinc, followed by iron, followed by lead, followed by hydrogen, followed by copper, followed by mercury, and followed by silver. So these are all the elements from the electrochemical series, which is known as the electropositive series. All are metals and they are placed according to the increasing order of their activity. The things which are to be used in the electrolysis is the nature of their formation of ions and the nature of their migration towards anodes and cathode. The elements which are present at the top, these metals are placed at the top and they have a special character that they ionize very readily. They form ions very quickly. Taking the example between zinc and iron, zinc will form ions very quickly than iron because it is placed at the upper position than iron. So this is the character which we have to study, is iron forms ions less readily than zinc, means zinc form ions more readily than iron. The another thing to be discussed is that the elements which are at the bottom, they do not form ions readily, but they migrate towards anode or cathode much easily. Taking the example of zinc and iron again, let's understand here. Zinc forms the ions readily but does not migrate towards cathode or anode easily, whereas iron don't forms the ions readily, but if iron forms the ions, it will migrate easily towards anode and cathode. Moving on further, the next series is electronegative series, and this is a series which is having non-metals in it, and in this series all the non-metals are arranged in such a way that they are arranged according to their increasing reactivity. Again, the same characteristics which we have studied in electropositive series will be applicable here, that the elements which are at the top, they forms the ions readily, but they are not easily migratable towards anode and cathode, while the elements which are at the bottom, they forms the ions less readily, but they migrate towards anode and cathode easily. Here you can see the series of electronegative. The first element is sulfate ion, next is the nitrate ion, next is the fluorine ion, next is the chloride ion, next is the bromide ion, next is the iodide, and last is hydroxide. If we take the example of iodine and hydroxide, iodine is placed at the topper position than hydroxide. This means iodine can form ions much easier than hydroxide, but the migration of hydroxyl ions is much easier than iodine ions. Hence, we can say the elements which are placed on the top, they form the ions much easily, but they don't migrate easily, and those who are placed at bottom, they form the ions less readily, but they move or they migrate towards cathode and anode much easier. Moving on further, let's discuss the topic selective discharge of ions. To understand the selective discharge of ions, we have to revise the conduction of electricity with the help of electrolyte once again. Let's revise that first. Here you can see an experiment is set up. The same experiment we have done in the previous video several times. Here we are going to use a compound known as fused lead bromide to pass the electricity, and we see that as soon as the fused lead bromide is poured into the vessel, the bulb starts glowing. This means that fused lead bromide starts conducting electricity, because of which the bulb glows. As lead bromide is an ionic compound in fused state and it is an electrolyte, therefore lead bromide on passing electricity dissociate into ions also. Here you can see that lead ions and bromide ions are formed because of passing electric current, and after forming the ions, the cations will move towards cathode and anions will move towards anode. And here you can see that Pb2 positive is a cation and it moves towards cathode, where this cation will gain 2 electrons from the cathode and will become neutral, while bromide ion will migrate towards anode and it will donate 2 extra electrons to anode and will become neutral at anode. So here we can see that the ions are migrating towards anode and cathodes. Using this example, now we are going to study the topic preferential discharge or selective discharge of ions. Selective discharge means if we are having two or more than two cations as well as two or more than two anions. In the experiment which we have done just now, we took a compound lead bromide, and lead bromide is having only two ions. The first is lead ions and the second one is bromide ions. Here you can see that when fused lead bromide is used, the bromide ions moves towards anode and lead ions move towards cathode. And now you can see that the ions have changed into neutral elements. Lead has changed into lead metal and bromide has changed into bromine atom. And now you can see that the bromine is a gas, therefore that bromine gas can't remain in the solution for the longer time and it changes into gaseous state, and gaseous state bromine evaporates while the lead falls down because lead is heavier than the electrolyte. Using this example, we will see how selective discharge of ions takes place when there are two or more than two cations and two or more than two anions. Now we are using the same experiment, but here we are using two different compounds, lead bromide and magnesium sulfate. In this experiment you can see that there are two compounds and one compound forms two different types of ions, that is anion and cation. The other compound will also form anion and cation. Since there are two compounds, now two cations will be formed during electrolysis and two anions will be formed during electrolysis. Moving on further, if we add the solution of lead bromide and magnesium sulfate, we will see that these two compounds will form four types of ions in it. The lead bromide compound will form lead ion as well as bromide ion. The magnesium sulfate will form magnesium ion as well as sulfate ion. Now, it's necessary to see that in this experiment, we are getting four ions, which means two cations of positive charge and two anions of negative charge. Now the thing here arises that from magnesium ion and lead ion, which will migrate towards the cathode, and from bromide and sulfate, who will migrate towards anode. The thing to remember here is both cations cannot migrate towards cathode, while both anions can also not migrate towards anode. Only one cation from the two will migrate towards cathode and only one anion from the two will migrate towards anode. Here comes the activity series. We have studied that in the activity series, electropositive series, look at the position of magnesium and lead. If we look into the electrochemical series, we see that lead is placed at the lower position than the magnesium. And if we look into the electronegative series, bromide is placed at the lower position than the sulfate. And we have already discussed and studied that the ions or elements which are at the lower position, they will migrate towards cathode and anode simultaneously. Therefore, from magnesium and lead will migrate towards cathode because it is at the lower position. From bromide and sulfate, bromide will migrate towards the anode because it at the lower position to sulfate. These two ions will migrate towards cathode and anode respectively, and they will be neutralized at the cathode and anode. Lead ion will donate 2 electrons and it will become neutral, and lead ion will gain 2 electrons from the cathode and it will become neutral, and bromide ion will donate 2 electrons to anode and it will become neutral. Hence, we can say that from 4 ions, only 2 will migrate respectively towards anode and cathode. The thing to be remembered here is we will use electrochemical series if the concentration is not given and if we don't know that which compound is having more concentration. We will assume that both compounds are having same amount of concentration, and hence we will use electrochemical series in this experiments to find out that which cation and which anion is migrating towards cathode and anode respectively. If the concentration is being given, then we don't use electrochemical series. Moving on further with the example of dilute sulfuric acid, dilute copper sulfate, in dilute copper sulfate, we are using a compound known as copper sulfate. Dilute means dissolved in water, it means it also possesses water in it. This means that when dilute copper sulfate is added to the experiment, the bulb glows up, which means that the electricity is being conducted. Dilute copper sulfate means that there are 2 compounds. The first one is water and the second one is copper sulfate. Water will form 2 different ions, H positive and OH negative. Copper sulfate will also form 2 ions, copper 2 positive and sulfate 2 negative. Here we have to understand dilute means more water. Here the concentration is given. Water is in much quantity than copper sulfate. This means that water is more as compared to copper sulfate. You can assume that if concentration is given, then the more concentrated ions will migrate towards anode and cathode irrespective of electrochemical series. Now, we will not use that which element is at the lower position or higher position. We will see which ion is having more concentration. So, again, dilute copper sulfate means more water, means more hydrogen and hydroxide ions, and less copper ions and sulfate ions. Therefore, on passing electric current, hydroxide, because they are having more concentration, they will move towards anode, and hydrogen, because they are having more concentration, they will move towards cathode. While copper and sulfate will not migrate towards anode and cathode because their concentration is very less as compared to hydrogen and hydroxide. Now, one more thing to understand here is, while performing these experiments, if we look carefully to the anode, we are using anode of graphite. Graphite is a inert electrode, this means that graphite does not interfere with the reaction of anions while losing the electrons towards anode. Graphite is an inert electrode and therefore does not interfere in the reactions. While using electrochemical series and while using concentration theory, we must see that the anode should be of inert nature. Moving on further, the third is the nature of anode. The nature of anode theory is somewhat different from the theory of electrochemical series and concentration theory. Here we can see that the electrolyte which we are using is dilute copper sulfate solution. This means that it is having water in it, which means dilute, and copper sulfate solution is the compound. This preferably shows that it forms 4 different types of ions, 2 cations and 2 anions. And here you can see that anode is of copper. If anode is made up of or taken of a metal which is present in the electrolyte, then electrochemical series will not be used and concentration theory will also not be used. Then the theory which we'll be using is the nature of anode. Here something different will happen. Here you can see on adding dilute copper sulfate solution, the bulb glows up, means the electricity is conducted. Dilute copper sulfate solution dissociates to form 4 different ions. Water dissociate to form H positive and OH negative, and copper sulfate dissociate to form Cu2 positive and SO4 2 negative sulfate ion. Now, if we would be using electrochemical series or concentration series, then according to law, hydrogen should move towards cathode and hydroxides should move towards anode. But here you see that anode is of copper. Earlier the anode was of graphite, which was inert electrode. Now the copper anode is reactive. It interferes in the reaction. Therefore, now no hydrogen ion will migrate towards cathode and no hydroxide ion will migrate towards anode. But something else will happen, and that is the copper anode, it forms the ions Cu2 positive, and that copper 2 positive ions, they migrate towards cathode, and at cathode they gain the electrons from the cathode and changes into neutral atom. This process continues. Anode gives up copper 2 positive as cations. They migrate towards cathode and hence these cations gain electrons from the cathode and changes themselves into atoms and becomes neutral. Here we can see that the selective discharge of ions does not take place while copper anode forms the ions and those ions migrate towards cathode and gain the electrons from cathode and becomes neutral. So these were all 3 theories which were used or which are used for the selective discharge of ions when there are 2 or more than 2 cations and anions present in the electrolyte. That's all in this video.